Online radio. Shout out to the hottest online radio station in the Hudson Valley. Reporting live 845, straight 845 radio, building our own from the ground up. Tonight's show is sponsored by the Melanin Gala that is happening on March 23rd. I am so honored to be an honoree. I will be representing the Hudson Valley. I was chosen, so thank you so much to DeShonda Carter, the Carter Diva Glam Mobile Party Spa Bus. Thank you for your recommendation and your nomination. So don't forget, March 23rd, 2019, I will be in New York City as a 2019 honoree for the Melanin Magic Gala. Now, I am so honored, my good friend here, the man with the plan, Mayor Joe DeStefano. He's in the building with us. Before we start, Mayor, talk to the people. Tell them who you are, just a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'm the mayor of the city of Middletown currently. I've been involved in city politics since 1984 in one way or another. I was on the city council for about 9.5 years. I've served as mayor since 1994, with the exception of about 4.5 years. I'm currently the mayor, and I'm happy to be here. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you. I've been doing this for a while now, Mayor.
You
Kicking
have.
strong.
You have.
Kicking strong. Now, Mayor, first of all, congratulations to you. You kept your seat, and you've been doing some great things around Middletown. And one thing that I would really want to point out that you have been doing, and thank you in regard to this, is first of all, thank you for your treatment towards the immigrants that are around. And if people don't know, Middletown is one of the most diverse cities.
Absolutely.
And you have not all equal, and we appreciate you for that. And we also appreciate the fact that you allowed each and every citizen or resident in Middletown to have an ID.
Yes.
Now, when that came to play, how did that come to play?
Well, the IDs are different things to different people. A municipal ID, undocumented immigrants in the city and in the country and in the state. The president has really brought a focus in on the need for local government, state government, to get more involved in protecting the rights of all people.
Right.
And people were having problems from little things like being in the park, not being able to rent the pavilion because they had no ID. And those are the small things. The bigger picture issues are the Community Voices Heard came to us as an organization and asked for support on the municipal ID. And they made their presentations to the Common Council 6 to 8 months. I supported it. I was familiar with it, and we were able to get it passed. I know the equipment is I believe, and should be online this month. They promised February 1st. I guess they're running a little bit behind. But it passed unanimously, and it's not a credit card. It's not a Visa.
Right. It's not a driver's license.
Not a driver's license, which is a separate issue. But it's a form of, to them, to the undocumented, it's an opportunity to be a person.
Right.
When you meet with a police officer, you're who am I?
Right.
I can't prove who I am. We had some parents were saying they couldn't take their own kid out of school.
Right, because they didn't have no ID.
They didn't have any ID.
Right.
So this will hopefully be accepted by the library. It will hopefully be accepted at some point by the school district. And we'll make incremental steps. Now there's the big move for undocumented to the governor, to the state legislators. And when I talked about this issue to people who oppose it, I try to say, why don't you look at it from your perspective? Don't look at it as from an angry side.
Right.
Look at it from, your kid is driving down the street and has an accident. Don't you want that other person going through a driving course? Don't you want them to be able to pay the costs associated with an accident, property damage or whatever? Don't you want that feeling of safety? So undocumented people are here. So it's, you can have a lot of blame why they're here, but they are here.
Right.
Make it as easy as possible for them to assimilate into our community, to be able to drive to work,
right,
to be able to walk out of their house and get a gallon of milk without being worried about being confronted with, who are you?
Right.
This is not Germany back in with the papers. I mean, it's fearful. Some of the negativity on how they want to approach this issue. It's really disturbing. And then we had this stuff around the college with the white supremacy stuff, the posters.
Yes.
So there's still a lot of hate, a lot of anger. I don't think it's so much in this community, but it's people outside the community.
Thank God. You're pretty good. And I must say, you're very good about you.
I've had aunts and uncles that were born in Italy, And I remember the stories that my parents told me how they felt later on in life. I have one story where a friend of mine who I grew up with, his mother is now 92, 93 years old. And she hasn't been back to her high school reunion once. She was a high-ranking medical person. She would not go back to her high school reunion ever because of the way she was treated in high school. It stays with you a lifetime. And that's what we're trying to mitigate is, it's focused more on kids, try to remove some of that pain in their life. The pain of knowing their father might go out the door, go to work,
and not be able to come home, right?
And try to put yourselves in those shoes, and that's what I try to do. So I try to put myself in everybody else's shoes. I agree, sometimes I don't agree, but it's not for the lack of effort that we don't succeed on everything.
Now, Mayor, everything, we try to do the best, and you're doing the best that you can, but people may say, okay, now, we're giving the immigrants IDs and things of that nature, and that's a better tracking system for ICE. Is that true?
We addressed that issue with Community Voices Heard and the immigrant groups, and we wanted to make sure that as many protections in the system are as possible. We made them aware that the system that we set up is mirrored after other communities. So, one, we didn't invent the wheel.
Okay.
And how the documentation is stored to other levels of government if requested. The way it's designed here in Middletown is the only way that we would turn that information over is if we lost at the Supreme Court level.
Okay.
And it was ordered.
Okay.
We promised them that we would fight at every level to maintain that information. But of course, like anything else, if courts order, we're going to have to comply.
Absolutely.
But so as long as people come in with that understanding. And the other part is that we've encouraged everyone to come in.
Right.
So this is not going to be just undocumented municipal IDs.
It's for everyone.
I'm going to get one.
Okay.
I'm going to have my kids get one. Of hopefully thousands of people.
Right.
They're not going to know who's documented and
who's not. They're just going to see a list of names
and
people.
Moochie Merchant, Joe DeStefano, which one's undocumented.
Okay, well, shout out to Middletown for that. That is great. Besides Middletown, you have been cleaning up the streets in the cities of Middletown. New buildings, new signs, new businesses opening. You have new breweries. You also now, what I've heard is, if I'm not mistaken, Middletown now has a dispensary.
Middletown area, I think Walk Hill.
In there.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing a lot of good new things this year, next year, that you haven't accomplished in the many years that you've been in office.
Well, that's a good question. It's the first time I've ever been asked that. That damn Moochie.
I try.
Yeah, that's pretty. Well, first, I try to do the same thing every year, and that's create opportunity.
Okay.
Create opportunity for people to do business, opportunity to live peacefully, opportunity to enjoy the community, to enjoy the, working with the school district, to enjoy their schools, and just an opportunity to live a nice life.
Right.
So that's what we strive for every day. But our big focus here now is to expand recreational opportunity in the community. It's an amenity that we have an opportunity to take some of our other assets, like the reservoir property, which is thousands of acres, and to give opportunity for people to enjoy that, whether hiking, biking, skiing, cross-country skiing, and to take some of these properties that have been limited use, enjoyed by to the many. We've expanded Davidge Park. We're going to be bringing the Heritage Trail in.
Yes.
We have about another 15 to 20 million in road improvements, park improvements, making the city of Middletown walkable, bikeable, and we believe that's going to benefit everyone. We're trying a rule of guideline from the national parks about having access within 10-minute walk of anybody's home, that they'll have access to a public park. And trails walking to the school. So, in a city where our goal is always to make it, to address the reality, but also to address the perceptions that the community is not safe, the community is not clean, and we want to address those issues. So we're addressing realities, and we're also addressing perceptions. But it's more or less the same focus every year.
Right.
And that focus is opportunity.
Now, Mayor, how long have you officially been the mayor of Middletown?
Since 1994. I have served from 94 to April of 2005. And then in 2010, I came back as mayor.
Now, do you see a retirement in the future?
No.
You're going to sit this seat out as long as you can sit.
I gotta sit. I don't know about that.
Now,
if you enjoy your work, you do it forever.
hello, I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. So I tell him, Mayor. Now, Mayor, you got to talk about these two things, big issues. Let's say for the residents. Let's start with the CPV.
Yes.
What is your stance on this CPV? I see a lot of people, per se, you know, I'm a social media bug. That's what I do. I see a lot of topic, and I see a lot of people praise you when it comes to the particular topic. So, what is your stance on this?
Well, CPV, first of all, is not in the city of Middletown.
Okay.
It's in the town of Wawayanda, which is the adjoining community to the city of Middletown.
Okay.
So, when CPV was going to become a project, we in the city of Middletown wanted to make the project greener.
Mm-hmm.
The project was designed to use groundwater, hundreds of thousands of gallons a day of groundwater. We got involved with the town of Wawayanda and CPV to sell them gray water.
Mm-hmm.
Gray water is when Moochie flushes her toilet, it goes to the sewage treatment plant, and then usually it would go out to the river.
Okay.
It's called the outfall.
Okay.
Instead, hundreds of thousands of gallons a day of that treated sewage, which is called gray water, goes to CPV to cool the turbines.
Oh.
So that's the only involvement that Middletown has with CPV.
Okay.
Why did we do it?
Okay.
We did it for two reasons. Reason one is to make the project greener. Otherwise, you'd be using a lot of groundwater, and people's wells would be drying up. There would be, it's not environmentally good policy to use groundwater for that type of thing. Reason two is revenue into the city.
Mm-hmm.
Is we're going to derive from $500,000 to $600,000. We made a business decision to sell this water. We made an environmental decision to sell this gray water. I think it's the right decision. A lot of people blame the governor for this, and these are not things that governors can come in and place these types of facilities in anyone's community.
Right.
New York has home rule legislation. In a way, Wawayanda Town Board made the decision that they in their community wanted to have CPV there. People had a lot of input to it. Once it's happening, I'm going to support the project.
Right.
Once it's on board, because I'm going to do business as the city of Middletown with CPV in the manner that I said.
Okay.
But if you go out to Industrial Drive in the town of Waukegan, you'll see much worse emissions there. I think the discussion on CPV was not really an honest discussion.
Okay.
And there's a lot of legitimacy to the opposition, but when you turn your furnace on, that's the same kind of gas that CPV is burning.
Ooh, okay.
Fracked gas. So,
okay.
More than 50% of New York State gas comes from fracked gas. So it was a dishonest discussion, but the plant's there. It's built. It's $1 billion. If they close it down, they close it down. If they don't, we're going to continue to preserve the groundwater, and we're going to continue to bring in the necessary money for the city of Middletown to continue our role in providing and improving our infrastructure.
Well, that sounds answer that question.
We sure did.
Now let's go to this question because yes, this is a big one. I know, Mayor, that your streets and your firemen and your police, you guys have been working very hard to solve crimes and clean up all the drug dealers. Now we wake up, we see 29 current, former law enforcement, fire chiefs involved in this sweep. So first of all, you having so much love and prestige in your county to see this, how did that make you feel?
Well, I saw it before you saw it because I got notified.
Right.
And it was like somebody stuck a dagger in my heart.
Okay.
First, let me clarify one thing.
Okay.
It was one Middletown fireman. It was somewhat misleading to imply that the majority of these people were involved in the Middletown Fire Service.
Right.
They were not. It was one Middletown fireman. He was actually a lieutenant in the fire department. So he was a high-ranking official. And it was disappointing. And I'd known Paul, Paul Smith, Lieutenant Smith. So that made it especially hurtful for me personally and for our community that he would, a person who was sworn to save lives, protect and serve, who was going out on calls to save lives from people who were overdosing, for that person sitting on in his car with a needle in his arm, overdosing as the person who caused that. And that's beyond comprehension to me. I don't understand what was in his mind. And of course, these are all only allegations, but pretty serious allegations. And was a lengthy investigation. Part 2 of that is the activity went on in the firehouse.
Right.
Some of it. And that is very disturbing. One, we have taken action. We have sealed both combination paid and volunteer department. So there's a lot of public in and out of the fire department during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been meeting with the chiefs to devise a plan to put cameras in.
Oh, so we're putting cameras now
inside the fire department.
Okay.
We want to make sure that there are sign-ins. So anyone who is not a fireman who is in that building, there'll be a record, both a video record and a signed-in record where they have to show ID. And like you would do at most public offices.
Right.
And show ID that Moochie Merchant was here, reason for attending, and make sure that certain public areas. So as the trial moves forward, the state police will share as much of the information that they have of what was happening with us, but we are taking some measures now to address it. The fire department, the city, we know we have some rebuilding to do with people.
Now, it's looked like, well, maybe the police had something to do with it. Maybe the mayor's involved.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you know how this goes. Maybe the alderman's involved. Maybe all these people are involved. So, how do we go about this? How do we clean this up?
Well, you can clean it up when Middletown fireman involved.
Right.
And he's under arrest.
Okay.
They can also be reassured with the history of the Middletown Fire Department, both the paid history and the volunteers, that they save lives for nothing. They go into burning buildings and with no pay. They take a lot of time away from their families, both for training and waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to your house fire and to save other people's lives. So they need to think of, I hope they think of, what this fire department has done over the years. And like with any organization, we see bad politicians, we see bad cops, we see bad firemen, we see bad doctors, we see bad reporters, we see some bad in every field.
Absolutely.
How it can act the right way, we're pretty resilient. We get knocked down, we bounce back up, we clean ourselves off, and we go about our business. But the new business is in a way to give public confidence in the institution. And they know it's been damaged. You get a black eye, if you take certain measures. And so we're going to take certain measures to restore the confidence of the people in both the fire department, the city officials, and to let people know that this one bad apple cannot destroy the reputation and the history of this department, both paid and volunteer, and that we're hoping the people will stay with the department and stand with the department, and I think they are.
Now, Mayor, we have to be honest here.
Go ahead, Moochie.
And I have to ask the questions that the people want to know. The first thing that people want to know is that there may be, even though it was clearly just one Middletown fire chief, lieutenant. Well, do you feel like there are other participants maybe involved that's in your circle of, as far as the city, the residents of Middletown?
You mean
other extinguished people?
That from a lifelong desire to become an emergency responder, to save lives, and literally has saved lives, and then to make that decision at some point in his life, when almost retirement, to make that kind of decision. And I don't know how long he's been doing it, if he has been doing it, but I don't know what clicks in somebody's head to make them do that. So, of course, I can't vouch for everybody.
Right.
But I do know that we have the men and women employed by the city of Middletown are good people. Every group has problems, so when we have a problem, we try to address it. In this case, the state police did the right thing. They conducted an investigation.
Absolutely.
And they will hopefully share all that information with us at the appropriate times involved in this. No police officers involved in this. And from what I've been told directly by the investigators, no other firemen.
Okay, so that clears up for Middletown.
Yes.
And we'll deal with Walk-In when we deal with Walk-In.
That's right.
Mayor, before I even let you go, I have to ask you this question, and I do just the whole show. What is your stance right now on America as far as Donald Trump, and just what's going on right now, your state of America.
Concern. I'm glad the Democrats, I think last time I was on your show, we talked about, and in the past, when Donald Trump was elected, we talked about those consequences of Donald Trump getting elected.
Yes, we did.
Or people like Donald Trump get elected. This past election had consequences for Donald Trump. Now you have a Democratic majority in the House of Representatives.
Thank God.
They are now conducting investigations.
Yes.
We're going to find out what involvement he had with Russia. We're going to find out what involvement he had with other banks. And
are we going to find out if his wife is legal?
Well, I hope so.
Okay.
But we do have now an opportunity for government oversight, which government should have been doing. The Republicans should have been doing it in Congress. They dropped the ball for whatever reasons. But we now have government oversight. Who's better than Nancy Pelosi?
Amazing. I love her.
She's Italian,
I love her. And I'm sure you watched the speech.
I sure
and her
did.
face told the whole story. Her face told the whole story.
Oh, yeah. She's the highest ranking Italian American official in our country, in the history of our country.
And she's a woman. I love her.
She's a woman, yes. Yep.
And I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure you watched this speech, and you are a Democrat, and you are in here. Is there going to be another government shutdown that the people have to worry about?
I hope it, and then override them. That's the only way. But he's going to try possibly to declare an emergency. I think that's just a safe face measure. They'll take that to court, and he'll lose that. But he'll say to his crazy supporters,
just the diehards.
Just a lot of them are.
Yes,
not everyone.
We're not going to talk about that, Joe, because they're out of their mind.
There are a lot of crazies out there, and I think they'll say, "Oh, he tried. Okay, he tried."
Now, how do you feel about the wall? Do you support this?
No. Listen, first we have hundreds of miles of walls there now, barriers, whatever you want to call them. When I talk to people on the other side, politically, I refer them to Congressman Hurd, who's a congressman along the Texas border. His district has 800 miles of the border. Former CIA agent, and he tells people on TV, the wall's the craziest thing you could do.
I agree.
And it's foolish. And before you had arguments over whether it was good or bad to protect the country. It's not that now. It's a symbol of hate. And he wants to build his monument of hate. And I don't think they're going to do it. They've put money in previous budgets for repairs of the existing walls. That's fine. They have a thing called the Normandy barrier.
Right.
That they're using at ports of entry. There are things you need to get the x-ray equipment, you need to get more dogs, you need to get more border agents. You need to not only focus on the southern border, you're going to focus on the ports.
Right.
Where all these drugs are coming in. They're not only coming from Mexico, they're coming from China. They're coming through Canada. They're coming through all over the place. So his arguments are stupid. They're foolish. They're appealing to people who have different agendas. But he will not succeed.
I pray, and listening to the man yesterday when he made a statement, he said that our hospitals are overpopulated by the immigrants. It's like, wow, you really said this. But thank God we still have people like you, and shout out to
Senator Metzger. Let me give one point on the wall again. In his speech Tuesday night, the president said, I'm going to put in $500 million into cancer research for kids.
That's what he said.
All right. He wants to put $5 billion into a wall.
And $5 million.
And $500 million into... Here's our priorities.
I was asking the same question.
Put the $500 million to repair your existing wall, and put the $5 billion into cancer research for kids.
Because kids are always
that's
here forever.
The kids are the future.
They're here forever. May, you are the best. Let me tell you something. Our timing is always impeccable.
You catch me every time.
I do. I don't know what it is, but I'll be catching you. Thank you so much, Mayor. Because I call him and he doesn't even say no. He just says date and time. He's always accessible to me, and I thank you for that, Mayor. You always keep me on my toes. You keep me focused, and I appreciate that. Is there anything that we need to look forward to for 2019 for Middletown that the people may not know is coming?
In the state of the city.
Okay.
So we'll be laying out what will be happening, a recap of 2018 and what we see moving forward in 2019. You're going to see a lot of good things. We're going to be spending a lot of money in and around downtown. Dawson Avenue, sidewalks for the first time.
Ooh, okay.
We're making this our city walkable, handicap accessible, traffic intersections, new park facilities, a lot of things. We're making investments in community, and that's what government should be doing, making investments.
Investments. Well, you know what? You're the man with the plan.
Okay,
Now,
Mooch.
Mayor, let me ask you a question.
All
I gotta ask this one.
It's
I
the
gotta
third
ask.
time you told me.
Is it election time for the mayor's chair again?
I have 3 more years.
3 more years.
Yes.
So, for ha-ha sakes, Mayor,
Moochie's going to run against me.
what if I ran against you? How would you feel?
I feel okay, but I'll whip you.
Listen, you got a date. I see you 2021. 2021, right?
I'm not going to tell you now.
Oh,
It's gonna be
man.
on homework.
Shout out to the mayor of Middletown. Again, thank you, Mayor. I wanted you guys to make sure you guys follow the city of Middletown. Follow their Facebook page because they have some great things coming up. Look out for them. You can always follow Moochie because I'm somewhere around here. I'll catch the action, the story or something. If not, I'll just run down to the mayor's office and get it live. We appreciate, we love you. You're doing an amazing job. And 2021 or 2022, whatever the year, it's me and you. It's me and you, guys. You already know it's your girl, Moochie, straight out the 845, reporting live 845, building our own from the ground up. Everybody have a blessed night. And if you don't remember anything else, remember this. Valentine's Day is next week.